Sometimes some general rules will make a lifestyle, even an extreme one, much simpler and easier. That's why this video is all about the 5 most important rules that can make a one-bag life much easier and simpler too. And at the end of the video, I will give you my best tip on how you can define the general rules for your personal lifestyle, even if you're not pursuing a one-bag life. So don't miss out. For all of you who are new to my channel, I'm Sven, just an extreme minimalist with less than 150 possessions, whose biggest desire is to live his whole life out of just one carry-on sized backpack. So if you end up liking the video, don't forget to subscribe and like, but most important, share a comment with your thoughts at the end of it and join me on my journey to a true one-bag life and to find out how an extreme minimalist lifestyle looks like. So let's get started. I think everybody who's watching this video right now may have at some point some troubles finding some general rules with their personal lifestyle. And in this case, it doesn't matter if it's an extreme lifestyle or I would say normal lifestyle. At some point, every one of them can be very challenging, and in my opinion, a set of general rules can really help to make it, as I mentioned, very easy and much simpler to live a lifestyle like that. For me, it was definitely the same. When I started with minimalism and transitioned to extreme minimalism and then a one-bag life, I always had some general rules right at the start when I'm trying to pursue this new kind of lifestyle that made it for me personally much easier and simpler to follow that lifestyle from the start, but also for the foreseeable future. Just keep in mind that there is nothing like a one-size-fits-all solution to every lifestyle with the rules I will show you in this video today. So you need to assess at the end of this video what general rules may be applied to your personal lifestyle and figure out how to find the right one so it fits your personal needs for right now, or if you want to start a new lifestyle, and also for the future and how you want to continue your own personal lifestyle. But let's start with the most important and maybe also the most obvious rule for a one-bag life, and that is to just bring the absolutely necessary essentials and not even just some case items. I mean, maybe you already guessed it, but if you're living out of just one carry-on sized backpack, there is really not a lot of room to spare for just in case items or items you would maybe bring on a casual vacation or on a trip. So first of all, you need to decide what items to bring and then categorize them and find out what is maybe just an case item, and then find, as I said, the absolutely essential and necessary items to you personally that you will carry on your back so it don't get very heavy and too big to carry it everywhere. Bonus points if you can find a lot of multi-purpose items, because they will make your life much better and much easier. But as I said, maybe you have only single-purpose items, which is okay as long as you carry just the essentials. The second rule that is maybe as important as the first rule, to just bring your essentials, is just to buy or to carry easy to find items. And that is for me very self-explanatory, but usually when I'm carrying everything in my bag, I always try to find things that I can find like in the next big city or in the next mall. So if I lose them, maybe if I lose my whole bag, I can replace the bag within hours or maybe a couple of days. So it's very, very important to, as I said, just bring items that you can get maybe in the next store or maybe in the next bigger city, so you don't have to worry about losing stuff and never finding it back again. And as I said, the most easy thing I would say is clothes, so you can go clothes everywhere, but also like my camera or my laptop, there are really nothing special, so I could easily replace them or buy them new in the next big city, which I think keeps a lot of stress from your person and from your bag as well. So just try to find the items that are easy to find almost everywhere in the world. On the other hand, when you pack just your essentials and easy to find items, you should definitely not sacrifice on comfort. Honestly, I chose this bag first of all for its size. So it's a 30-liter bag and it fit like every requirement for almost every airline when it comes to a carry-on bag. But I always try to find a bag that is as comfortable as possible, because you will always need to carry it on your person when you're flying and when you're changing hotels. You really don't want to sacrifice on the quality of the bag, as well on the fabrics and the almost comfort when you're carrying it around. So try to find a bag that fits all the criteria that you need, but as I said, don't really sacrifice on comfort, because at some point, maybe when you're carrying a laptop, a camera and a lot of stuff, it can get heavy sometimes. So you need to have like a good strap system, a good harness system that will transfer the weight to your hips in the best case. So as I said, try to find a bag or try to find a suitcase maybe that fits all your needs, but also is so comfortable that you want and can carry it everywhere. Another very important rule for me personally is that a one-bag life should be as personal as possible. Just because you're only carrying the essentials, and honestly, when you're thinking about the essentials, most of them will look like the essentials from the person sitting next to you. I think it's very important to personalize your stuff as much as you can and as you will. So maybe you want to add some stickers, or maybe you want, I don't know, to add some hangers or everything, or maybe you want to have a fancy laptop case or whatever it is. Try to personalize your stuff so everything is catered to you personally, and you can identify yourself with everything that you carry and not look like just another guy with the black shirt and the black trousers. So personalize as much as you want and as much as you can. The last rule for making your one-bag life much easier and simpler is just to remind yourself that it's not about the stuff that you actually carry, it's about the freedom that you will get. You should always remind yourself that you will gain a lot of more things from having less stuff and only living out of just one carry-on bag. The stuff is maybe quite nice, so you did a lot of research and find the best things for you possible, but that is just one thing. The most important things should be that you can move everywhere you want right in the next maybe 2 or 3 minutes when you pack your bag. That you get a lot of mental clarity and like a lot of less stress from having less stress to worry about your things, if that makes any sense. And most importantly, you will have a very different life to the life you lived before, because in my experience, you will get a lot of less distracted because you actually don't have the things to get distracted, so you can enjoy much more of the current moments of the experiences that you will experience. So this is what for me personally is maybe the most overall important rule of one-bag life when it comes to your personal life and your mental stage. As you can see, even with these 5 just very simple rules, a one-bag life is much easier and simpler to obtain, in my personal opinion. You exactly know what you will do in almost every situation, and I find you found a clear path to go from now on to the future, which makes one-bag life even more, I would say, not predictable, but more manageable at all. And especially when you notice it's not about the stuff that you carry, it's about the freedom that you get, you will get so much more free space in your life to focus on the important things that you want to think about and not caring about the stuff that you carry. But now that you know what my 5 rules for a much easier and simpler one-bag life look like, here is my best tip on how you can define the most general rules for your personal lifestyle, even if you are not pursuing a one-bag life. First and foremost, you should definitely think about why you started your lifestyle in the first place and why you are continuing it until that day and want to continue it in the future. Write these like bullet points down, because they will give you a very good starting point to think about what really matters to you and why for your personal lifestyle makes it so special that you want to carry it on in the future or started it in the first place. After that, try to categorize everything that you wrote down, so why you started and why you continue your lifestyle, and find some major categories for them. If you will play back this video, you will see that every rule of these 5 rules that I mentioned will have a very, I would say, specific category to it. So one is about personalization, one is about the journey, one is about the stuff that I own. So you will see that every rule has a very specific, I would say, broader category that it refers to. So I would suggest that you find major categories for everything that you bulleted down in the first step, so it makes it much easier to define very clear rules afterwards. But now that you categorized everything, it's actually time to write down your new general rules for your lifestyle. I would personally suggest that you just, I would say, pick a maximum of 5 general rules, because as maybe the name would suggest, they are just covering like the general basis of your lifestyle. They should guide you in situations when you're not feeling very comfortable or have some difficulties with your lifestyle, so that you always know what to do in which situations when it comes like to the general foundation of your own lifestyle. Lastly, as everything in your life, these rules shouldn't be applicable to forever. When your life changes, when your personal situation changes, and maybe your whole lifestyle changes, these rules should change as well. They should reflect at every point in time your personal and current situation and maybe the way you want to go with your lifestyle. So add them freely as you want, but as you change, as your life changes, try to adapt these rules to your life and keep these 5 rules, not just try to add some new, just change them so it fits to your personal situation at every time. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe and like, but most important, share a comment below with the most important rules to make your personal lifestyle simpler and easier. The next video will be about how you can start a one-bag life in a very easy way. In the meantime, you can watch my last video where I show you the major downsides if you want to pursue a one-bag life. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I see you in the next video.